Yes, prediction.
Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad, I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just, I hate that I'm scared.
It would be awesome to, be in a great war, maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go! Way
I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate
Good
you.
timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Saludos a todos en este domingo familiar, domingo de we are recapping Lonely Boxing EnVivo podcast, what happened this last weekend in boxing. Como siempre, Manny Marrero,
Shawn el Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper over here.
Break it down like it is, like
Bobbing and weaving, man. He's a hate on Canelo.
Trolling? Is that trolling? No. Always breaking it down like it is, like it should be. Here we are with another weekend, great exciting weekend of boxing. Disappointments across the board, but hey, I mean, it happens. So, what do you guys think about that card yesterday?
The card? The card was.
I don't think. Well, okay. Let me say the pay-per-view portion was not impressive, and I hated.
Not at all.
I hated that I paid for it, and I'm really bitter about it.
You know, one of the good things that did happen yesterday, especially on the co-main event, is that it got stopped early at the 6 rounds. I don't think I could have taken 6 more rounds for the 5-round fight, and it was horrible. And that was a co-main event.
They should have put Isaac Dugba and Pitufo Diaz.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought that was going to happen. I missed that fight. I was picking up my mom at the airport, and I thought it was going to be part.
It was close fight. Could have probably gone either way. I think.
Did watch some highlights later on, and did watch a couple of them. But hey, that's what we're here to break it down like it is.
Let's not bury the lead, though, man.
Yeah, let's go to the lead, man.
Terence Crawford, Shawn freaking Porter. You talk about one of the biggest fights that could have been made in boxing, or that was made. Fire matchup. I was up for it, ready for it. Gringo.
Yeah, man, it was a great fight. Definitely excited. I'm glad I got a chance to watch it. Really appreciate that. It lived up to the hype, man. It was super exciting, and it was really, really good action for sure.
Oh, I loved it. It was a great performance by both warriors. Porter was impressive with his usual aggression, but it always comes down to once Crawford figures you out, it's a wrap. The timing that Crawford has is surreal, and I think that midway through the 7th round, you could see Crawford really starting to time Porter, and then you combine that with Porter. I felt in round 9, his intensity kind of dropped off a little bit. He started, I guess he was a little gassed, and he started getting sloppier. And it's a big no-no when you're fighting an elite brain, high ring IQ like Terence Crawford. And then in round 10, when we saw what happened, it was a matter of time. Once Crawford figures you out, and plus you get tired on him, it's a wrap.
Well, we knew that when Porter gets those later rounds, he loses his sharpness and he starts getting sloppy, and it was just a matter of time. I thought he was going to really stay control of his punches and not really try to be desperate in some shape, way, or form. I truly believe that Porter was never going to knock down Crawford. I don't know how you got that, Hopper, but I knew it.
It's by watching his fights. If you see Crawford,
the power, it was not enough to knock down someone that, for a lot of people last night, it was a big eye opener of the expectations of what we've seen, previous years. Where is Crawford? Is he a really true pound for pound? Is he really coming up the 147 and people are believing the hype? I think that question was answered yesterday. And because of that, you have to give a lot of props to Shawn Porter's career, what he brought into the ring. Do you make mental mistakes? You sure do. You're going to, and he paid it off. But it's really, really sad to see him go right now, because I believe that he still has something and to fight some others. But if he's not mentally there, then that's the problem, or that's something that they acknowledge, and that's why he's calling it a quit. So, I mean, other than that, no shame at all whatsoever. And big props for Crawford for staying in there, taking some pretty good punches, trying to really adapt, changing into the southpaw position to see what he can do, we can get, and then eventually patient. And this is a mature boxer that understands how to really be patient. And eventually, he knew his game plan was gonna succeed. So.
All right, so yeah, some juicy nuggets with some sweet sauce there for sure. Definitely for me, the takeaways that stand away, quickly is that Crawford has power for sure, and I was impressed with the fact that he was the stronger fighter. I didn't anticipate that. He was definitely the stronger fighter. In
you could see it in round 3 when they started wrestling a little bit, and Crawford, instead, Porter looked like to have the edge and was trying to push him to the ropes, and Crawford just turned him around and threw him to the ropes, and they started jawing. And you can see Crawford signal. He does that. You're too little at the end of the round. So to let him know, hey, and Crawford, that surprised me as well. Gringo, good point. That he's a lot stronger than Porter than I thought. I thought Porter was going to be the more physical, stronger guy.
Well, he started with, I think, the first 3 rounds. That was Porter at his best, to be honest. If you ask me, pretpretty stronger than.
The fifth round was by far Porter's best round. Was that round 5 when he was just all over Crawford. And like me and Shawn were talking about this before the show started. After 6, how did you have it, Gringo?
After 6, I had it 4-2.
In favor of?
Yeah, favor of Porter. Yeah,
same here. I had it 4-2 in favor of Porter. And actually, at the time of the stoppage, I had Porter winning the fight by 1 round. And that's but here's the thing, though. This is what always leads into Crawford. I always put them into the same category. Crawford, Lomachenko, Canelo. They're all slow starters. Because their brain is trying to figure you out. What are your escape routes? Whenever I feint, what are you going to do? What are you going to react? So they'll lose rounds because they're confident on their ability to catch up or stop the fight. And Lomachenko, Canelo, Crawford, that's what they do. They'll lose these early rounds. And and sure enough, Bud figured them out like I said, midway through round 7. And Porter started getting sloppier and a little tired, and it was over.
That's it.
Counters.
Yeah, man.
Counter uppercut.
Yeah, sloppy seconds for sure. I got some comments we want to get to, then we'll continue on from there. So quick to No Paul with the El Chile.
Nopal.
Salute.
Nopal.
All right, so
in the house. Gee.
Good morning, brothers. HCP. Yes. Shout out. All right, so Boy. See what the other fighters didn't do.
What up?
Crawford did, and it was throw more punches. All right. G Funky says, I think Porter still has some fights left in him.
Oh, I think he has a lot of fights left in him.
Totally agree, man. Championship caliber. Don't get that confused. Championship caliber.
Porter still has it.
And I honestly think that if his father didn't stop the fight, I think that he was coming. I mean, Porter doesn't give up, to be honest. And that's kind of a little bit disappointing, because I wanted to really see him a little bit more, regardless of what happened or what his father thought about that moment, feeling like, I mean, you guys know when he got interviewed, I mean, it sucked. And I think you had something to play this if you want to do it. I think this is perfect time, but honestly, I didn't regret that.
All right.
So what?
All right. So yeah, let me go ahead and play the clip real quick that Manny's referring to. What our brother Manny's referring to is the clip where
Kenny Porter.
Yeah, Kenny Porter explains why Bernardo Osuna was interviewing him, and he asked him, why did he stop the fight?
What prompted you to stop the fight tonight?
Honestly, his preparation. He didn't prepare like I wanted him to prepare. So that's just, that just makes me say,
I don't know.
I don't want him in that situation. He fought a great fighter. The guy's super sharp, and he's at a deficit. It's like fighting this guy blindfolded when you're in a deficit like that. So I wasn't going to let that happen to him.
And he did. So, man, a lot of things to kind of take away from there. I'll say my initial thoughts real quick from the perspective of three different things. First of all, as a fan, I hated it, because I'm like, I paid fucking $80. So that's my selfishness, right?
You're a big baller, though.
No, yeah, I'm true. And then, but as a
payday, Shawn's got paid.
As a fan, as a father, I was like, man, what a horrible, selfish move, right? To do that, and it really felt like he was kind of putting himself before his son. If you're really not ready to see your son in a situation like that, I mean, should you be his trainer? And then finally, I just felt horrible for Shawn Porter standing there having to smile and having to hear that, your moment was taken away. And I do think that did play, that moment replayed in his mind to the decision of him wanting to retire. But that's only my opinion. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, when it happened, it's hard to argue with the decision, It's I think the end was coming either way for Porter, but you alluded to something that I was going to bring up as well. Kenny Porter stopped the fight. Shawn was pissed, turned his back on his corner and walked away. You can't argue with the decision. I actually felt it was the right decision to do, but just the way he worded it, his choice of words afterwards, it felt like he wanted the attention on himself. All you really need to say in that situation is, I stopped it because I felt my fighter was in danger, and he's more of a danger to himself. He's not going to quit, so I had to stop the fight for him. But the way he said it was that because he didn't prepare the way, it's like you were mad at him for not listening to your instructions during training camp. That shit's over and done with, man. It's just fight night. It felt like maybe there's a little bit of friction between Shawn and father, and it kind of played out unfortunately at the wrong time for Shawn. So, and I think a lot of these trainers sometimes they try to take the light away from themselves, trying to hype themselves up instead of the fighter. I mean, some of them love the spotlight. You can see Kenny Porter with that gold chain, the gold earring, the diamond. He's all blinged out, looking, hey, gotta look sharp. But it kind of feels like sometimes he wants the attention on himself.
Part of success. It's a major fight. It's a big accomplishment, especially for Porter, being in the position that he's at. And I got to say that I'm just very disappointed because you can't throw your little trash out there to everyone. What happens behind the scenes is like sparring. You're not going to divulge what you said did. I think Shawn Porter looked sharp and great at the beginning.
He looked great.
I have to give it up for Shawn as admitting that and being able to say, listen, I'm not going to throw my family out there in the spotlight. Whatever's behind the scenes, we'll handle it ourselves, which is extremely super professional. I think he's going to have a great career as a broadcaster. We love him. We like his perspective, but I do have to agree with him that, when he got interviewed, he asked that question. Do you feel was okay, right decision at the beginning? No, but then he came out and said, listen, I wasn't using my defense. I got hit 3 times in a row against a guy that is considered top, pound for pound for years. And the guy is strong, and he's out there to take everything and to really make sure that people understand who he is. Now, at the same time, when you come out and say that, honestly, hey, it wasn't me. I didn't really listen to some of the things that my father said. I don't think it was anything back at camp. I think it was more to the fight. And Porter wanted to fight his fight. He didn't want to stick to a game plan right after that 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th round. Because after the 6th round, honestly, it all went south for me. It was just not the same Porter. He wasn't being selective with the punches. It was landing here, some here, there, but he was getting sloppy. Same thing that he does typically in the later rounds. Do I agree with the fact, the way that you guys said that, the way he approached and talked about it that way? No, not at all. And if I was Shawn, I would be really pissed off. But I don't think it was a right. I'm sorry, how I disagree with you. I think that he had more to give, and I think
he was done, bro.
No. He had more to give, man. Shawn Porter doesn't give up like that, and you see him pounding.
Exactly. That's why you have to stop it.
Trying to get up and pounding on the canvas like I'm coming up. I'm getting one more chance. If he was to be knocked down one more time, I get it. But he wanted one more opportunity, an opportunity that, hey, you never know. You never know what could have happened. But I get his father say, hey, he's with the lion, he's with the beast. Let me just protect him. On the other hand, that's why you shouldn't have dad and son on the same training, trainer and a fighter.
I disagree. Actually, I think that's probably better to have your father in there as a
Well, you got to be protected more.
Trainer, your trainers,
yes.
A lot of trainers are gonna be looking at the big picture sometimes in terms of monetary compensation, bigger fights and everything, and they'll leave them out there far too long. We've seen that many times. I think your father is always gonna, when he stops the fight, it's because he genuinely loves you.
I want
it might be a little bit too early, but it definitely saves you in the long run towards the later.
Now, on the other hand, we're not close to the ring to really hear those punches that Crawford was landing. I did see some replays, slow motion.
No, we didn't have to hear him. I mean, we saw him. So. He was starting to tag him. He was starting to tag him, and it was still early in the round. He dropped him almost immediately when the 10th round started, and then and he got up and then he threw those combinations, hit him with the right on the jaw. I mean, he was going to get dropped again. There was no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, he was. Manny just wants blood. All right, so just real quick, we got some comments right here we want to get to, and then we have a guest that's going to be joining us, so we definitely want to do that. So G Funky says, I have tremendous amount of respect for Porter. He fought all the best welterweights out there.
Same
Absolutely.
Here.
Saludos on that.
G
Funky also says, Kenny doesn't want to take any accountability. Shake my head. Much respect to Aaron Serrano. All right, so he's withstanding a podcast. Much love to them. Boy says, I think the same way. Jose R. Porter is better than Canelo's last 6 opponents on resume. Yeah. Miss Denise.
Absolutely. It's the best he's fought in the 147.
Denise.
No question.
Denise. All right. We got another Canelo comment. All right. So Jose also says Canelo is a disgrace to boxing.
He must be Puerto Rican.
He might be. All right. So all right. So we got another comment here. G Funky, the body shots from Crawford were hurting Porter.
Yep.
That's the difference to me. Like the body shots, I think that was the difference that was made, and I think that forced the sloppiness that you were referring to, Manny. Yeah. That the game plan was there, but he couldn't continue with it because of the fact that he had he was hurt. He was making adjustments. All right. So
and if you see the fight, they were I saw Lobo.
Yeah, he is.
And if you see the fight, like they were exchanging. Porter was landing those looping right shots and to Crawford's head, but Crawford in exchange was landing those body shots. The left hook to the solar plex of Porter, that was connecting. I think it had more of an effect on Porter than the looping shots did on Crawford.
All right, so cool. Let me go ahead and get to this comment real quick. Shout out to HCP, Ringside Reporter. I think some fathers live through their sons and feel like it's them in there for that reason. Sometimes they don't stop the fight. So that's a very fair assessment.
It's fair because they live vicariously through your sons,
All right. So for the record, Jose R said that he is Mexican. He didn't spell it correctly, but shout out to him.
Okay. So
all right. So
one of those guys.
All right. So our man's with us today.
Oh, snap.
So, what's up, brother?
Oh, look at that. Driving and podcasting.
That's why I was having so much problem trying to get in. I'm on the road. You know how connection is when you're on the road, but I had to get on with you guys, man. I've been trying to have a little discussion with you guys for a while now, and I'm glad to be here, man. I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Welcome, man.
What's up, brother?
Appreciate you coming to the show, bro.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, man. You do a lot of great things. Actually, Boxing Nakigarete, you probably don't remember, but one of my favorite lives that we did, 2 years ago, we look back at the Cotto Margarito fight, and we talked about the controversy, and you jumped on in the chat, man. I love it. I actually want to revisit that at some point. So much love on that. But yeah, what's your thoughts on the fight, man? Before we get into the legacy of Porter, what's your thoughts on the fight? What'd you take away from it? I know you were really going for Porter. So how do you feel at this moment? What's your thoughts?
Well, I thought it was a great fight. I think it was a really good fight. I think Terrence Crawford definitely answered a lot of questions that some of the doubters, including myself, had about him. I think he stepped up to the plate. The only thing that I would say was a little bit upset about was the stoppage. I'm not going to agree with the corner stoppage. I don't think that was a good stoppage. I think the type of fighter the Porter is, I think he wanted to go out on his shields. He was banging on the floor. Obviously, he wanted to continue. He looked shocked when his corner stopped the fight. And the way he left the ring, you could tell he wasn't happy with his father, stopping the fight. Obviously, he has great respect for his dad. He's never going to embarrass his dad in front of cameras and never going to say nothing against him. But I don't know. I could read body language, and I could tell that he was very, very upset that they stopped the fight. And I really don't think that's the way he wanted to go out, especially in his last fight, since he said that he was retired and win, lose, or draw, he was retired. So I really don't think this is the way he wanted to go out.
Man, that's a fair assessment. And, I share a lot of those sentiments as well. I felt he was definitely conscious. He's a warrior. He wants to go out in the Shield. And he kept saying that, he wanted to show that he's up there. He's had, some tough challenges where a championship belt is on the line. And the championship fights, he hasn't come up on the winning end. But he went against the best. And, sometimes that's going to happen, man. And he's a warrior. And I felt he deserved that. And it did leave a bad taste in my mouth from a fan perspective, but I do see the side. You always want to protect the fighters. Now, speaking of that, and you did mention that Boxing Agadete and kind of get into that as far as, Shawn Porter. And we'll go ahead and leave with you because you're taking time to join us. And I don't know how long your connection is going to hang in there. What's your thoughts on Shawn Showtime Porter's legacy at this point? I mean, I know it's early, but, first of all, him retiring, were you shocked? And do you think he's going to stay retired? What's kind of your thoughts and just his career overall?
I was super, super shocked when I saw the retirement. Like, it was 3 a.m. here where I'm at in Minnesota. When I saw the news, I was still up. And I was in shock. I had to do a video right away about it because I was just so in shock. I'm like, I gotta do a video. I gotta get these thoughts out. And basically, I don't think he stays retired. I just really don't. He's a very, very good name out there, and there's still a few good names that might attract him back into this, But if he does stay retired, I can see it because, he has that Fox gig. His podcast is doing very well.
Yes.
He made pretty good purses with Errol Spence, with Terrence Crawford. So I think he's pretty set for the rest of his life. But you know how boxers are, especially when you've been doing this all your life. They always get that itch. And he was already saying it in the press conference. I want to fight him again. I want to get in there and compete. It's that competitive side of me. So I don't know. I think this is just a vacation. Kind of like how these boxers like to take 2 years off and then come back and do another big money fight.
Do you think it's more to kind of overshadow a little bit his frustration toward his father? And that would be the best thing to do right now to retire instead of really being upset and kind of fire him from the corner. Maybe that first instinct of it. Do you think that's why the retirement just popped in?
No, you know what? I believe Shawn's character, and I believe that when he said that he was going to retire, win, lose, or draw, I believe him when he says that. I think he already had that coming into the fight. I think I think when it comes to the father and his being upset, I think if he does come back, I don't doubt. I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back without his father.
Yeah, that's a great point.
That he takes on another trainer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's my thought too.
Yeah. Get that mental break for sure. He's definitely earned it. Hopper, what's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts on Showtime Porter? What's as far as his legacy? Were you shocked about the retirement?
Oh, I've made no bones about it, man. I love me some Shawn Porter. He's one of my favorite fighters of this era. Throwback fighter, fights everybody. His resume is impeccable. Even though he suffered a few L's, it's to the elite of the elite in the division. I was definitely shocked, and I was a bit saddened by it because it really came out of nowhere. But we'll see how it goes because maybe he's just caught up in the emotion of the loss, the frustrations with his father. We'll see when the smoke clears. Maybe he does need a little bit of time off, like Algarete said, maybe a little time to heal. Because that cut was pretty bad, and then I'm sure he has suffered some other injuries that we just don't know about. But a little time away to get mentally refresh yourself, because that's the draining part as well. Mentally, if you're not there mentally, it's just gonna go about it. Another training camp is just another run of the mill, going through the motions and stuff. Man, I think hopefully he takes a little time off, thinks about it again, and because Shawn Porter's a name, he's gonna get paid to fight anybody out there, man. I think maybe some of the young guys, but he said he doesn't want to be a journeyman. He doesn't want to be that gatekeeper. But I mean, you have those young guys there, Boots. You have Virgil. I mean, they'll pay Shawn Porter handsomely to get in the ring with him, and he's shown the willingness to do it. So we'll see how it goes. I don't think this is the end for Shawn Porter. I hope not, selfishly speaking, because I'm a huge Shawn Porter fan. So I think we'll see him back in the ring, though.
Okay, cool. All right. So it looks like we have two that think he'll be back. Manny, what's your thoughts, man? You think that's the last we've seen Shawn Porter, or he's full-time announcer now?
I mean, right now he's just going to take some time off, and that's a different way to do it, to say it, right? Alleviate the frustrations, like I was talking earlier about what happened with his father. At the end of the day, father was trying to protect them. There's nothing wrong about that. Is it the right thing to do as a fan perspective? No. In terms of Porter, no, he didn't want to end like that, and I doubt he does want to end like that. And I think we've always talked about this, and I'll continue to say Shawn Porter has the ability to become a world champion again. And let me tell you something, there's a very nice fight that can be made, and that could be Ugas WBA with Shawn Porter, a very attractive. If Shawn Porter gets to do that, beat Ugas, hey, there's a lot of interest of unification to go back again on a rematch. He even said it, or even go somewhere else. I mean, who knows? We don't know what Crawford's going to do. He's a little bit emotional right now with the fact that he's got to part ways with Bob Arum to pretty much make that fight out there. And then all of a sudden you see Spence in the audience, which he wants nothing to do. He feels like disgusted about not only, the way that Crawford won, but at the same time, because I don't think he was expecting, Shawn Porter's corner to act that way either. But anyway, do we talk about that we feel that fight's going to happen? No. So he's frustrated in that. So even if he goes up, moves up like 154 and does something else, hey, that's going to be a lot of attracting fights for Shawn Porter, not at, with the younger guys, but also with an opportunity with another shot for the belt. And I think that what he wants that. And I'm just thinking that eventually, as he continues to broadcast, he's going to have that urge to really kind of come back, and we'll probably see him. I'm pretty sure. I'm right now about 80% we will see him back.
Okay. Wow. That's pretty damn strong to me. I'm going to go ahead and say that's the last we've seen him, that he's not going to be back.
Hater. You don't like Shawn Porter.
Wow. No, actually, we share the same name. I named myself after him, even though he was born after me.
Unless we see him ballooned up to like 200 pounds, then
no, that's his goal. But no, I think that his career is over, because all the things that we're talking about would happen, for him to be a champion, unless there's going to be something big. I think the things he would be offered, especially if he takes a lot of time off, would be, setting somebody else for their success, unless he truly felt like he was the guy, and that there was a chance for him to be, the man, the A side. I really think that that's something that bothers him. He sees himself as a champion, as, the man, not somebody else helping the man, make their name. So I think that it's over, and I respect that. And, I like to see, of course, I love seeing fighters go out on the Shield, but I love people in all walks of life going out on their own terms. So that's what's important to me. Let's get to this quick comment, then we'll go to our other topic in regard to this. Woody Boy says, if the money were there, he will come back. My honest opinion, but retirement is the best choice. Thank you. Thank you very much for your comment. Appreciate that.
He's going to make money. He made money, and he's going to make money now with Showtime and broadcasting, and plus all the sponsorships and all that. So he's taking care. Like I got this. He's taking care for life.
Snack. Oh no, that's Crawford. Crawford's the one that's on that snack that had the whole attire on the ring corner.
All right. So let's take a look at this quick video clip, and then we'll talk about what is realistically next for Crawford.
Question for you. Obviously you're becoming a free agent. Bob said if he would talk to you about individual fights. He mentioned Spence. He mentioned Josh Taylor. Is there any individual fight out there that appeals to you more than others? And secondly, when do you make the decision? How do you kind of go through it and come up with your decision?
Well, I'm pretty sure my decision is made already. Bob couldn't secure me the Spence fight when I was with him, so how you gonna secure me the Spence fight when I'm not with him? So, I'm moving forward with my career right now, and I wish everybody the best.
Look at Bob. That's priceless.
Where's he? What's his move? PBC, or he's gonna be a free agent like Canelo?
Oh man,
right there. But he's not a big enough draw for that though.
Well, that's the question. I mean, is he? They had over 11,000 people there last night,
I don't think so.
Well, here's the thing. He is 34 years old, and there's a lot of any fight to me that he makes. There's no fuck these tune-ups, man. He's way past tune-ups, right? He had
what? You don't want to see John Molina?
No, he's had years to tune up. I don't want
Come
to see
on, man. 34 years
old.
old, and we're waiting for this.
Right.
Man, I kind of want to see him rematch Mean Machine.
No, Mean Machine? No.
Woo-hoo,
all right, so Boxing, I gotta say, these guys are haters. What do you think as far as Crawford? What would you like to see him do, and what do you think he's gonna do? He said he already has his plan laid out, right? So obviously, Top Rank is in the rearview mirror, and is that a good idea? But overall, what's your thoughts on his comments, and what would you like to see, and what do you think he's gonna do next?
I've been waiting for this side of Terrence Crawford. It's, I was happy. I was laughing my ass off when I saw him basically clown Bob Arum the way he did, in his face, basically telling him like, nah, you couldn't even give me the Errol Spence fight. How you going to get it now? So he called him on his bullshit basically in front of everybody, which I love because Bob Arum has taken the opportunity to embarrass Terrence Crawford a number of occasions in front of the cameras.
He's losing money on
people, telling people that he don't sell, telling people that he spent money, that he could have bought a house in Beverly Hills, all this stuff that Bobby talking. So I'm glad that Terrence Crawford did what he did. I think his actually best option, and I know you guys were just saying that you don't think he's a big enough draw, but I think his best option is being a free agent. I don't think it's a good idea to sign with nobody right now, with PBC or no way, get tied down with nobody. I think the best thing is stay as a free agent. You got money to promote yourself. I don't think you need any really big company right now to promote you. You made enough money in your career. So I say stay as a free agent, make the money fights, get the Errol Spence fight, and get whatever other fights. Because, I'm thinking he's probably he's either trying to get Errol Spence or he's trying to get the Charlos at 54. So I think this is the perfect choice for him. Stay free agent, look at your options, and just do what's best for you.
Man, love it, and I like that idea. I like the mindset as far as you haven't been in control. Now it's time to be in control and make the most of your opportunity. And I'm with you on that for sure. Manny, what's your thoughts on this? We know you're a Crawford hater. We know you're a Crawford hater.
I'm not a Crawford hater, man. I'm just my question was answered yesterday, and I'm just glad. I'm glad that that he's got an opportunity to do something different. Going on to PBC, I don't know, man. I mean, PBC's not well known for putting all the top fighters out there, and then it just seems like those guys. I want to be A. I want to be B. I want to be the best. I mean, all that bullshit back and forth is just not to get them anything. But one thing I can say, there's a guy overseas that can get you any fights you want to get you the money. Papa Hearn. I mean, think about it. So there's plenty of possibilities for him out there. The only problem is at the 147, I can't see him fight anyone else other than Spence. Anything other than that, under that, it's just a waste of, I would say, time. It's just a belt. Why you want to get Ugas for a belt? I think he should. If the Spence is not going to happen, get out of there, move up, and see and try with the Charlos, and make something interesting at the at the junior middleweights. And I think he's got the ability to do that. He's down in his last stretch, if you ask me. Make the most money if you can, and then after that, who knows? But there's a guy out there that's done wonderful being a free agent, and that is Canelo. He can draw people. He's got a fan base. The problem is that fan base hasn't been activated the way the fan base of Canelo is. So if they can keep that going for the next couple of years, he's going to do very well. So free agent or Papa Hearn. Papa Hearn will pay you, and we'll get those fights.
All right, that's a plug for Papa Hearn.
Real quick. He makes a good point because Eddie Hearn's got Conor Benn. If Terrence Crawford is eager to make that debut in Europe, I would think that's a perfect fight to go to Europe for. A lot of people are saying Josh Taylor, but to be honest with you, and I know you guys are probably gonna scream your heads up, but I look at that as a mismatch. Especially with what Terrence showed last night, I think he basically destroys Josh Taylor. I think it's a mismatch, especially going up in weight like Josh is doing. Let's be real. He's going up in weight, and Josh gets hit. Y'all remember what Progress did to him. Now, let's not forget what Progress did to him. And I felt Progress won that fight. But we got the rematch for that fight. And I'm saying if he wants that Europe money, Conor Benn is the way to go, too.
Well, he already went overseas. He beat up Ricky Burns right over there in Scotland, if I'm not mistaken. He went over there, and that's what was coming out party was for Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, that's how
I feel he has to. Hey, first of all, though, Algarete, you gonna pass that or what, man? Pass? Man.
Let's make it happen.
I need to get me some. For the first, I need to get my first one of the day going. You know what I'm saying, bro?
You know, I'll be making it to the fight. So if we ever come across each other, you know, we gotta make it happen.
We'll have it ready too. So, but anyways, yes, back to Crawford. I think his name is definitely big enough among boxing fans, and even some he does cross over into the mainstream, because if you looked at social media, ESPN was sharing his fights. Like a lot of where the casual sports fans, the NBA fans, football fans, a lot of those social media pages were sharing Crawford the result fight. So he is definitely a known commodity in boxing. I think his name alone, he like I got to say, you don't need a promotional company anymore. Just make sure you dot your Q's, dot your T's, and cross your I's, because the boxing business is a little shady. So I think Crawford would be better off just doing it by himself, going out there trying to get some fights with the PBC. Go dip your toes over there at the DAZN, get some of that DAZN money, and hell, fights in Nebraska. Do your own showcase fight in Nebraska. Bring somebody over. So I think Crawford, a promotional free agent, taking notes from Goatnello from Canelo. So.
No, man, good stuff, bros. And I do like the idea of him fighting as a free agent. Like I gotta be honest, at first I wasn't gonna think. But you guys made a good, strong argument. Yeah. And I think that why not, I think he's got that support of, Nebraska, which,
Nebraska.
Like again, they had close to 12,000 people there last night. That's that Warren Buffett money. You know what I'm saying? So he knows what he's doing. And I think that's actually a good idea you brought up, Hopper. Like, just fight in Nebraska. Have people come to you.
Get a showcase fight going there, man. Yeah. Make some money. Then,
get that support, man. Support.
If you can't, because he's still going to struggle to get some of these guys to fight. The PBC guys are already talking about, even before, like, oh, well, why should we fight him just because he signs with us? We were already doing our thing without him. And it's sad. And then how can we go without talking about this, man? Earl Spence. What the hell, bro? Missed golden opportunity last night. Jump up in there. I don't care if they say, oh, it's WWE scripted. Nah, go in there. Make some noise. Ruffle the feathers up. Tell him you're next.
He's never been that kind of guy.
That dude saw the knockout. He's from Dallas. He's from here. We love him and everything, but we got to call it like it is. He saw the knockout, said, I'm out of here. This dude didn't want no smoke.
Is that why he wants some attention that way and not
dude
really?
Just took off. That fool just sprinted soon as
honestly,
Crawford finished him.
Extremely disappointed.
How does that look? Does that look weak as fuck or no?
It does. It does.
Very weak.
Tell me about it.
No, I'm sad y'all brought it up, but thank you very much. Now,
no, because it was fucking weak, bro.
It was weak, man. This is a weak ass move.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like Texas took an L. We weren't even fighting. So
we weren't even fighting. Dallas already lost. We didn't even play the Chiefs yet.
Hey, how about the Cowboys?
I see what you're saying. Like, I think it was kind of like a weak move on Aerospace, but at the same time, I was looking at his face, and I think he was more pissed off at Kenny, at what he did. Because let's be real, this makes Errol Spence look bad.
Yeah, he couldn't finish.
You couldn't finish him. You knocked him out, dunked him down, but you couldn't finish him.
So Errol Spence gets up after the knockout. I don't think it's because Porter got knocked out. It's because of how he got knocked out. So you see Errol Spence kind of face, kind of smiling and shaking his head like, he's saying like, that was a bullshit stoppage. So I think that was more of the reaction he got, but definitely missed opportunity.
That's fair.
He should have went in that ring. He should have hopped up in there, bro. He should have even said that. He stood up.
We would have been talking about it right now. That would have been the first thing we let off with. Did y'all see Spence go in there and Crawford jawing at each other? Social media would have.
But when has that happened? When has that happened? It's never happened, and it won't happen. And even when they get them together for like a few minutes, they're like, "Oh, I ain't dealing with that. I ain't dealing with that." You know what I mean? They don't really go out there to try to pursue.
Who doesn't want the fight? Is it Crawford or is it Spence?
We don't know. I mean, right now, Crawford's
Al Heyman.
Porter. I want the fight. I've always said I want the fight, but is it going to really happen? No, because all this bullshit is going on back and forth. Now, Crawford obviously blaming Bob Arum. I don't know the behind the scenes of negotiations and stuff like that. All we know is what we see publicly. And for my understanding is that both of them want to be the A side. I want to be the guy that, come out after we're last in the ring. I want to have the biggest entrance. I want to be the number one guy. And I think both of them are in the same mentality. That's the way I feel and I think about it.
And see, that excuse would have been viable had we not seen Wilder and Fury go at it 3 times, top ranked in PBC. And then we just saw PBC do another one. So what is it? Top rankings 2, 4-0, 3. No. How many times did Fury beat Wilder? 2. What is their record? They're undefeated against the PBC.
They don't want to make the fight.
Recently.
They're the ones that don't want to make the fight. They want to speak about it.
They threw Shawn Porter because he doesn't have a championship belt. So
all right, so
they kept the belt
I'm not
safe.
gonna allow all this PBC blasphemy on the show.
Oh, that's right. Hey, Algarete, this guy right here next to you, he has a picture of Al Heyman.
Hey,
in his
I thought
room.
you gave PBC for life. You gave it up, son.
I'm getting a tattoo. I'm stepping up. I'm stepping up my game. All right, so let's not get into something you want to add real quick.
Yeah, when it comes to who I think doesn't want to make the fight, listen, I go by this. At first, I felt like Terrence Crawford didn't want to make the fight because, he was always talking like, I want the fight. But then you go and say, before the Porter fight, you go and say you want 50-50. It's like, you don't say you want 50-50 if you really want the fight. Come on, man. You're not in that position. That fight is 60-40 tops. And you can at least start negotiations 55,
What if you go 40-40 and the other 10% goes to the winner?
There you go. I like that.
20, yeah.
But see, he starts out with the 50-50 talk, and that's where he lost me. And then another time where he lost me was with the whole Pacquiao negotiations.
He definitely lost me there.
Everything I've looked around, though, that fell through because of him.
No, that's facts. So yeah, that's facts. And Pacquiao actually had that contract signed.
Look at Errol Spence. Sure. I look at Errol Spence. Everything he does, everything he says, he does. He says, I'm coming from a crash. I'm gonna fight Danny Garcia. He fights Danny Garcia. Now on Twitter, he says, I'm not ready for tune-ups. I believe him when he says that. I'm sure his next fight is gonna be a great fucking fight. Terrence doesn't build that confidence in me. So when I think who really wants to make that fight, Errol Spence wants to make that fight, but he wants to be paid. He's not a fool. He knows he's the A side.
Man, there's some good stuff, man. Love the passion, man. You're literally fired up, so we love it over here for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and go to let me get to this comment real quick. Got to give some love to Miss Denise. She said, I'd rather see him retire. She's referring to Shawn Porter. Much love there, sweet lady. And then finally, Bud. Yeah, she likes Bud speaking up for himself and not getting disrespected by, Bob Arum. And then we got a nice comment here. Bordy Boy, Josh Taylor versus Danny Garcia, possible 140, if not 147 versus Errol. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I would say real quick as far as like what I would like to see, but you guys really got my head spinning with some, possibilities as far as going to Europe and who to fight. But I think that the fight, go as a free agent and then fight Josh Taylor. I like the idea from the standpoint of, you're fighting an undisputed guy, even though I agree, but boxing Algarete, he'd have a huge advantage. But from the standpoint of respect that I think you would get, but I think to kind of help balance it out, I think he does what Prograis does, and he fights, Josh Taylor in Scotland. And I think that would, level the thing, because at that point, you got to get a knockout. They're not going to give you no decision there.
They're not going to give you
at all. No way. No way. All right, so another comment real quick. Spence said to Crawford, get a belt and we'll fight. That was 4 years ago. That's true. That's fair assessment. He did say that. So good.
Yeah,
comment.
I always felt that Crawford was the one that wanted to fight. Spence was always, every time they met up, you can tell in the body language, Spence would always come up with these excuses as well. And he's from Dallas, he's my boy, but I got to be objective.
He gave us an L last night, brother. You're trying to
we're just catching L's left and right with Errol Spence.
I think
and then before I thought that Crawford would beat him, and then now after the crash, I definitely think he beats him.
No, I definitely. And then the eye, detached retina and everything. I was gonna Yeah, so let's
News
go
and
ahead.
notes.
News and notes.
Ooh, I want to talk about some.
All right, so I guess they're Boxing Agadete, but I got to respect Boxing Agadete. Hopper has been showing at the bit. He's actually been, we have a chat going on all the time before our shows, and his brother's been blowing it up. He can't wait to talk about this. So you have the floor, sir, and we can comment on your thoughts. So what do you want to talk about, Hopper?
Well, there was a fight on Friday night. It was Mexico versus Puerto Rico. We were supposed to be in for a banger, and it started off just as we expected, you know? I'm talking about Julio Cesar El Rey Martinez against McWilliams Arroyo.
Oh.
So first round, you know, McWilliams dropped El Rey, which was kind of shocking to me. And then towards the end of the round, El Rey dropped him. And I think he took the worst of it because he was feeling the effects. He got saved by the bell on that one. And then I couldn't verify if it was actually a punch or a head, but they showed the clash of the heads.
Sure.
But in the second round, that's when it happened. McWilliams Arroyo saw, well, I don't want to call him a quitter, even though I kind of just alluded it to in his name. But he saw a way out, and he took it. And Eddie Hearn was furious. Everybody, El Rey thought he had a knockout, but no, McWilliams checked out. He didn't want to continue the fight anymore. He said that he couldn't see. You know, they did the test and they put the fingers up. He's like, I don't know, I can't see. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. We were supposed to be in for a
Is that
bang.
how he sounded?
That's exactly how he sounded. They asked him how many fingers. He's like, I don't know, 2, 3. So that's exactly what it was. You know, hey, it was going to be a Mexico-Puerto Rico classic. And didn't turn out that way. A bit anticlimactic. It is what it is. El Rey still the champ. So move on, hopefully.
All right. Wow, that's some strong statements right there. Boxing Agadete, you have a comment on that or any thoughts on that? You agree? Disagree?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of with his assessment. I said it when I was watching the fight. El boricua se rajó, como dicen los mexicanos, se rajó. You know, he's a veteran. He knows what he needs to do in there. He knows the rules. He knows that it was going to go no contest. It was 2 cuts, 2 valid cuts, but at the same time, I kind of understand. I'm not trying to give him an excuse, but I kind of understand because it was so damn early in the fight. So you know, you got un monstruo como Rey Martinez coming at you with that cut. You know, and I understand. Like you want to be at your 100 against a Rey Martinez. So I kind of understand.
At a disadvantage.
Exactly, at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it. He's a veteran, so he made the right choice. For him, he made the right choice. For the fans, he didn't make the right choice.
Well put.
Yeah, definitely, man. Good stuff there.
One little quick thing though. I have to say this though about Martinez. He needs to get better.
The defense.
He needs to get better.
Needs to tie it up. Especially if he's trying to fight Gallo or Chocolatito.
Right. He mentioned Gallo. He mentioned Chocolatito. Man.
Or the Rat King, your Rank Survive, he'll get
there you go.
murdered.
Oh my goodness. That's
all I gotta say. He needs to just work. Go back to the gym.
Go back to Canelo. Canelo needs to show him, hey, mira, güey, mueve la cabeza, cabrón.
Yeah, I mean.
What I'm told, because I talked to a lot of people in Mexico, and from what I hear, he is in Team Canelo, but really he's not Team Canelo. He trains on his own, and really he's just there like every once in a while. It's kind of like they tell me, everybody really tells me it's more like a promotional thing, but that he really just does his own training, like with his regular trainers.
Gotcha.
Well, I think that's thank you for the insight. I mean, if he's attaching himself, everyone else will be like, look, bro, if you're gonna be claiming us, we need you to work on that defense.
For real.
If he fights, honestly, bro, and no disrespect to him, if they announce right now that he fights Uranksavi, he's getting destroyed, like bad. Or
book
even
his
Quadras.
room at the hospital in advance.
Meet him there with flowers and chocolate.
We'll be waiting for you, El Rey, and you're my boy. But no, the Rat King will be
Friday,
a horrible,
Friday night
horrible mismatch.
It was a huge disappointment for Friday night, to be honest. Way, I would have never in my dreams see him down like that. I was going to root for my boy. I was going to root for the people in Puerto Rico, especially we've been talking about McWilliams, who he would be one of the next ones to get an opportunity, and he got it. You know, the fight failed a few times. And McWilliams had a chance to go back at it, and he was very impressive in his last fight. I never thought that McWilliams was going to do what he did on the first round ever. In my dreams, I would have thought about that. He has some kind of power, but knowing El Rey the way he is, the way he has fought in the past, the way he is considered as this little spiked little
Tasmanian devil
gun, I would have never thought about that, right? So you're absolutely right. He needs to get better. He needs to get better to really, if you're going to move up and fight all these other guys that you guys are talking about. As it pertains to McWilliams, you're right. It was a quick exit strategy he had in his opportunity. Veteran move on his side is a good at the fans. No, they're bashing him across the board. Having said that, we don't know exactly. It was a hard headbutt. It was clearly. We don't know exactly if that affected him or not. And I got it that you're absolutely right. That actually not being 100% against someone that you know is going to be very difficult to actually fight and finish the fight in 12 rounds. Not being 100%, that's different. Tito Acosta, same thing happened to Junto Nakatani. And he kept on going. He had to quit it because the eye just came really, really bad. So you don't want to get to that point and have that disadvantage. I mean, trust me, I don't think, even if without the headbutt, I don't think that McWilliams would have lasted 4 to 5 rounds. El Rey is another boxer that starts slow. But when he gets his groove on, it's just all over. I think the best chance for McWilliams to finish him at that first round, he didn't really do it. And I even said it. Oh, he almost had it. And that's about it. And I was pretty excited. Boom. He got knocked down in the next round. So, he had a good chance, got a good opportunity. And I just don't think it's going to happen again. And if it happens again, it's going to be, honestly, it's going to be a knockout for another, knockout for El Rey.
Is it Gringo? Were you ever able to confirm that if it ends in a no contest, they're contractually obligated?
Well, yeah, typically, as far as a no contest, contract 1-on-1, typically that's going to lead to a rematch because the fight never happened.
Right.
They're obligated to fight again. But I think what Eddie Hearn, and that's why I think he was so mad, what Papa Hearn was so upset, is because he's going to wind up having to pay McWilliams
step aside
money.
Right.
And that's where literally your boy got 2 bags that night. So shout out to McWilliams, brother. I see you, dude. I see you making it happen, brother. All right, so that's the good stuff there, Hop. You want to shout out there as far as news and notes, Manny? Anything from the weekend? Any fight that was announced? Anything you're excited about?
Well, I'm super excited about Teofimo Lopez finally happening.
Oh my goodness, we need to get this fight out of the way.
That soap opera is worse than the General Hospital soap opera. It never ends. We're finally going to see that next weekend. It's going to be a treat. And, let's see what happens. I mean, we've seen videos, behind the scenes with Camboso training with Javier Centeno down there in Davie, Florida. He looks sharp. He looks great. The Australian he's got nothing to lose and a lot to gain. He doesn't need that, but he wants that strap, all the belts around him. So I'm not going to really go out there and say it's going to be a piece of candy for Teofimo, but because we know what Teofimo, has, behind himself. But the reality is I want this to kind of set the momentum for the rematch, after Lomachenko fights Kobe, 2022, that crazy prediction, Loma, Teo 2.
All right. So love the passion, brother. So Boxing Agarete, what's your thoughts? Anything from the week that stood out to you? I mean, a lot happened. Obviously, the fight going into. My brother alluded to it. Finally, please knock on wood. Please. The fight with Teofimo Lopez.
The zone's not going to cut it.
It's finally going to happen. What's your thoughts as far as any takeaways that you want to talk about real quick before we close things out?
Oh, to be honest with you, for coming up, I'm not really looking forward to the Teofimo Lopez Cambosos. That hype left the station a long time ago.
The building.
You mean the third time they canceled it or the fourth time?
This is the 4th time, bro. 4 times, man. So I'm actually more excited about the Stephen Fulton fight versus Figueroa.
Yes, sir.
That's the one
next
I'm
week?
going to be. Yeah, it's the same day. It's the same day. Same day as Teofimo.
Because that one's free anyway, so I'm going to be watching that one.
I watched that one. So
I already spent $80 fucking on Crawford and Porter. I'm not going to spend
Oh yeah.
Oh no, it's on the
they're
zone.
killing
The other
us.
one's on the zone too, right?
The zone. It's the zone.
Yeah, never mind. Trailer, they got away with it.
I have to say this though. Now that you mentioned that, man, these people are killing us with pay-per-views, man. There's too many pay-per-views lined up together. You know what I'm saying? Especially ending this year, and then they try to hit us up with January now too. Sanchez and Ortiz pay-per-viewing too. I'm like, man, what? Man, come on, man.
Let's start the year with a discounted $39.
Fuck that.
Like, come on, man. Like, I don't care if you discounted nothing, man. That's free. That's free boxing right there, man. You should have done that on Fox.
Well, yesterday we got scammed. Yesterday, $80 for one good fight. Well, I mean, the previous from the co-main event, it was a little bit better. That I can't say his name, but
no, these pay-per-views are out of control, man. I'm 100% with you. So, yeah, no, great stuff there, and I'm with you. And yeah, that fight, that Fulton fight is going to be a barn burn. I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Good one.
So, for me, what stood out is Oscar Valdez will defend his WBC Super
Vaquero
title against Vaquero Emmanuel Navarrete next, according to Bob Arum. He also added, which is not confirmed, make Vasily Lomachenko versus Shakur Stevenson. So, hey, we'll see if that happens or not. So, good stuff there. So, Boxing
Lomachenko.
Thank you so much for.
What did he say?
He's hating on Lomachenko. He said he sucks. What do you got to say about that, Manny?
I said, T.O. Bob is throwing Lomachenko to the dogs. He don't care about Lomachenko no more. Like it's like I told when Bob made T.O. versus Loma, I told people T.O. gonna win. One of the main things you gotta pay attention to is what Bob says. Bob tells you all the time, we never put a prospect in against a champion unless we're sure he's gonna win.
That's true. So far, that's played out. So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's true. When Uncle Bob speaks, we better listen, right?
I'm telling you, Shakur is gonna beat if that fight is made, Shakur's gonna beat Lomachenko too. Watch this. They're just building Shakur up. They're building Shakur up. That's all they're doing. And that's what Lomachenko. That's what they're using Lomachenko right now. I feel bad because Lomachenko, he's gonna be a legend. Two-time Olympian. He's gonna go in the Hall of Fame, probably first-time banner and everything. But that's right now. That's what he is. He's right now a stepping stone for these young guns right now.
Not yet. I don't think yet. I think Loma may want to pursue more over that, but there's going to be a lot of money also as well for Shakur Stevenson. So
have they said what weight they're going to have that fight in?
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. They'll have to go up to 145, or Loma can definitely go down because he's a little bit smaller guy, so he could go down. But I don't know. I think that Loma wants belt and he's going to try to pursue as much as possible that Teofimo. And then after that could happen. And then Shakur will take over. That's the real takeover, not the fake over.
All right. So, Boxing Agarete, again, thanks so much for joining us.
Appreciate you joining, bro.
It. We definitely want to, do some stuff on your channel, some Spanish lives, which, of course, I will not be a part
EnVivo,
of.
Siempre, dale. Bien duro.
We'll be looking forward to that for sure. But anybody you want to shout out and any last words you want to leave with us?
I just keep watching these guys. These guys know their stuff, man. These guys are good people. They're all about boxing, people. So if you care about the sport, support this channel, subscribe, hit the like button. These guys they're all about boxing.
Man, appreciate that, brother. Much love. And this brother, man, he's doing it big. I remember you, me, and O'Connor were talking about as far as like having support. These channels need to support one another. And I look up and, man, you're blowing up over there, man. So I love it. And keep grinding, man. You're doing your thing. And it's only the beginning for you. So thanks for not forgetting us as you're blowing up. You know what I'm saying? So that's great stuff, man. And, thanks so much. We really appreciate it. So speaking of as far as support, I want to send this comment out there. Oh, yeah, Ringside. Yeah, Ringside Reporter Live. They'll be on later on. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and get to the calendar for HCP. And this is our first live with HCP. So having Boxing Agarete on as well as like, man, this is Christmas came early. You know what I'm saying?
Dream.
All right. So, the schedule does fluctuate and change. But as of right now, on Mondays, we have Ringside Reporter later I believe, at 6 p.m. This is Eastern time, so that'll be 5 p.m. Central. On Mondays, you have Mano y Mano, which will be 8 p.m. Eastern time. And you have HCP, which is on G Funky. Maestro Boxing, and he was actually on earlier. Shout out to him. He was in the chat. That's great show, him and Kenny T. Tuesdays, you have it's actually on Wednesdays, right? So on Wednesdays, you have El Chile. On Tuesday, you have HCP on Do Style Boxing. Women Crushing It Wednesday. Love them so much. They'll be doing their thing, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Roundtable
Can't
Thursday.
wait to hear Miss Christine's perspective. She was there last night, and she's very bullish on Crawford. So congratulations on that. Yeah,
absolutely. And then the roundtables they have, and they always have great people on there, mixed boxing. But I know that one has changed between the channels, so definitely that's why you got to subscribe to all of them. And of course, like we said, Ringside Reporter, man, they're great. I love the insight, and he's always giving some good for you guys putting your money, your hard-earned money, and you don't know who to put it on. Man, you got to go to Ringside Reporter, man. Manny's he's a gambler, so I'm not. I'm too poor. All right, so yeah, again, shout out again to Women Crushing It Wednesday. Love them. They do great stuff. Boxing Agarete, he joined us with his amazing show that he does. He does, and he's on social media. Make sure you follow him. And shout out to our girl last night, man. She got her a new boo. Look at her. Team Chicken with Josh Taylor mashing. Nice. I see you. No, but she was in the house last night, so great stuff, man. But no, it was a great show. And again, thank you so much, Boxing Agarete. We appreciate you so much, brother. Keep doing your thing. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. Shout out to HCP for their love and support. Make sure you subscribe to all their channels. And we are out.